The boy locked a toy figurine inside the cabinet. When he opened it again, to his surprise, the tiny figure had come to life. It had turned into a miniature human. Curious, the boy reached out to touch it, only to be met with hostility. The little man, full of suspicion, pulled out a dagger and stabbed the boy's palm.
Ow! You hurt me.
Frightened, the boy hurriedly explained that he was the figurine's owner and meant no harm. That finally eased the little man's guard. The boy held out his hand as a gesture of peace, and the tiny man leapt onto his palm. The boy then dug out a plastic toy tent and gifted it to the little man as a place to live. But the little guy looked unimpressed and a bit disgusted. The boy had a sudden idea. He placed the plastic tent inside the cabinet, shut the door, and reopened it. The tent had turned into a real mini tent. Now the little guy finally had a proper home, and the two officially became good friends. Excited to make more new friends, the boy stayed up late stuffing more toys into the cabinet. But when he opened it, what he saw was horrifying. Darth Vader from Star Wars was battling a dinosaur, while RoboCop and a US soldier exchanged gunfire. Terrified, the boy slammed the cabinet shut. When he opened it again, everything had gone back to normal. The next morning, the little man woke the boy up, complaining that the tent was small and stuffy. He didn't sleep well at all. He wanted to build himself a villa, so the boy took him into the backyard. But as the boy went to fetch tools, a chicken nearly snatched the little man away. Frightened, the boy rushed to bring him back inside. Still, the little man was unlucky enough to get pecked on the leg by the chicken. Seeing him bleeding and in pain, the boy was heartbroken but helpless. Suddenly, he had an idea. He dug out a toy medic and placed it inside the cabinet. When he opened the door again, the miniature medic had come to life. The boy quickly picked up the medic and brought him to the injured little man. As soon as the medic saw the wounded, he kicked into professional mode. No matter how much the little man resisted, the medic insisted on treating his injury. The boy curiously grabbed a magnifying glass and watched carefully. To his amazement, the medic was incredibly skilled and managed to stop the bleeding in no time. The boy was glad to welcome yet another new friend, hoping the two would get along. But unexpectedly, the mini-medic longed to return to the battlefield, saying this wasn't his world and staying would only limit his freedom. Respecting his choice,
Maybe you can dream us again sometime.
A pleasure. Tommy Atkins at your service.
the boy closed the cabinet again, and just like that, the medic turned back into a toy. To keep the little man safe from the outside world, the boy decided to build him a big house in an indoor flower pot. The little man said he needed tools for construction, so the boy placed his armored warrior toy into the cabinet. With proper tools, the little man quickly built the frame of the house. When the boy rushed upstairs after school, he was amazed to see the little man had built a perfect home all by himself, but the boy still felt something was missing. Then it hit him. Maybe the little man needed a father figure in his house. He placed an old man toy into the cabinet and opened the door. Worried the newcomer might be dangerous, the boy immediately took away his bow and arrow. To his shock, the old man fainted on the spot after seeing the gigantic boy. Terrified to death, the little man rushed to check on him, but it was too late. Furious, he scolded the boy. "If you made a mistake, take responsibility." So the boy dug a hole in the backyard and buried the old man. One day, a friend came over to play, and the boy revealed the cabinet's secret. They made a pact that this would stay between them, but the friend wanted a living toy too. The boy refused, saying bringing toys to life required responsibility. Still, while the boy was downstairs, curiosity got the better of his friend. He used the cabinet. By the time the boy returned, a drunken toy cowboy on horseback came bursting out of the cabinet. After a few laps around the table, the horse suddenly braked and flung the cowboy off. Luckily, the boy dived in and caught him midair, tossing him onto the bed. His friend leaned in for a closer look, only for the drunken cowboy to whip out his gun. Fortunately, his friend's thick skin saved him, though the mini bullet got stuck in his cheek. The boy sighed and pulled it out. The cowboy went berserk over his missing hat. Then, upon seeing a nearby Indian toy, he suddenly sobered up and drew his gun again. Thankfully, the boy grabbed him just in time and locked him in a drawer to cool off. The next day, the drawer was mysteriously open, and the cowboy had vanished. As the boy woke up, he saw his two toy friends locked in battle. They fought fiercely, but the cowboy's gunfire scared off his horse, cutting his combat power in half. He chased after the horse, and the little man took the chance to leap onto a shoe and shoot the cowboy's hat off with an arrow. Seeing things spiraling out of control, the boy quickly separated them. He pinched the cowboy and set him on the bedpost, saying there's no need to fight. After all, they're all good friends and should get along. But neither would listen. They kept arguing. In order to prevent his house from being messed up by them, the boy had no choice but to put them into his bag and take them to school. In class, the two glared at each other. Eventually, the cowboy broke the silence. As they talked about their families and homes, the cowboy teared up. It was the first time they opened up to each other. In that moment, enemies became brothers. During recess, the boy's friend couldn't help but brag to classmates about the living toys. Just as he was about to open the bag, the boy stopped him. He demanded to know why he broke their secret. Their teacher, sensing tension, came over to check. After learning the fight was about toys, the teacher asked to see them. Panic set in. The friend nervously pulled out the toys. They feared the worst. But to their relief, the little man and cowboy played dead, holding completely still. Crisis averted. After school, the boy pulled out a toy Indian girl, intending to give the little man a wife. But when he tried to use the cabinet, the key was gone. He rushed to ask his brother and learned it had been moved to the stairwell. He found the cabinet, but the key was missing. Without the key, the magic wouldn't work. Helpless, the boy could only worry. Meanwhile, the cowboy asked if they were stuck here forever. They had their own families and lives. This world wasn't theirs. Hearing that, the boy fell into deep thought. That night, they sat on the bed watching TV. The boy flipped to a film where Native Americans were being slaughtered by invaders. The little man, furious at seeing his people massacred, raised his bow and arrow at the TV. But the scenes kept changing. He couldn't aim. Just then, the cowboy jokingly fired his gun. The sudden bang startled the little man, causing his arrow to accidentally hit the cowboy. When the boy shut off the TV, the little man realized he'd hurt his friend and was overcome with regret. The cowboy was alive but needed medical attention. But the cabinet key was still missing. They searched desperately, until the boy spotted it stuck between floorboards. They tried to fish it out with a knife, but only pushed it deeper. Suddenly, the little man dove into the gap under a lifted floorboard. The boy warned him there was a mouse down there. But to save the cowboy, the little man pressed on. Moments later, a huge rat scurried past inside. The two boys panicked, praying for his safety. Then, they heard the little man's voice. The boy reached in, and the little man climbed up his finger with the key. The boy immediately revived the toy medic. After an exam, the medic confirmed the cowboy wasn't seriously hurt and praised the little man for great first aid. He gave the cowboy an injection and told him to rest. Then he returned to the cabinet and became a toy again. That night, the boy tried to secretly revive the Indian girl toy for the little man. But just as he shut the cabinet door, the little man stopped him.
She has her life. She has a family, a clan, maybe a husband and a child.
I don't want you to be alone.
I will be with my people.
After listening to what he had to say, the boy finally understood. Everyone has their own life. We shouldn't control others, but respect their choices. The next day, the boy said goodbye to his beloved toys.
Tell me about the Onondaga. Are we always a great people?
You are always a great people.
Maybe that's why he had always wanted to keep the little man around. But the little man just wanted to return to his tribe. He and the cowboy posed as they once were. With tears in his eyes, the boy closed the cabinet. When he opened it again, they were toys once more. If you had a magical cabinet like this, what toys would you bring to life?